Good evening and welcome back to Ask the Attorney. I'm Amy Rao Mohan along with Kevin Kennedy from the Kennedy Law Firm in Clarksville. And we've got lots of calls already.
All right, Amy.
We want more people to keep calling in, so call that number at the bottom of your screen, 615-737-7587, 737+. And you've got two attorneys here ready to take your calls. What more can you ask for right before Christmas?
Go ahead, it's true.
All right, so let's take Rhonda here on line 4. Hi, Rhonda. What's your question for us today?
Hi. Well, I hope between two attorneys I can get an answer to this question.
Go ahead.
With Kevin Kennedy, you're in pretty good hands here.
And hopefully the same answer. I'm calling relative to a man who took his life, self-inflicted shotgun wound. There was a 911 call by his employee, and the dispatcher asked if the person, if the man had a history of mental illness. She said no. He did have a history of mental illness. It's possible she didn't know that, but she paused and said no, and then she said, but he had dementia. Now, dementia was not mentioned in the autopsy. As I said, this is a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Would this employee have any liability if, I mean, he was the one that owned the gun. I guess he owned it legally, but if, to me, if you know somebody has a gun and you know that there's, even if it was dementia as opposed to history of mental illness, seems something irresponsible there, certainly, and I wonder if there's any liability.
Okay, Rhonda. Amy, you want to throw it? You
No,
want to take
I was hoping Kevin Kennedy would take
Well,
that one.
I'll tell you the way. Remember, here's the basic premise of every law. Is there negligence? Did someone's negligence cause injury? Was there a problem? And was that the proximate cause of it? Well,
and that's
you make
the hard part here,
well,
I
and
think.
you can, you know, theoretically, we'll talk about the theory of the law. If someone knew that that person has a mental condition on psychiatric medication and you give them a gun, yes, do I believe that is really serious? Is that negligence? That could probably be gross negligence, and that person, they could easily bring a lawsuit against them if we could establish those were the facts.
Would
Now,
a
we have
reasonable person do the same thing and give someone like that a gun?
Touche. And again, if they come back and we don't have a history of mental illness and they stole the gun, they went to my closet where the gun is hidden, they took the gun, well then obviously the facts would lay out that they probably wouldn't have any liability in that regard. Do you concur?
I concur.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you, Rhonda.
And we've got Mike here. Hi, Mike.
Hey, good evening, Attorney
evening.
Amy and Attorney Kevin.
Yes, good.
I want to, first of all, let you know, Kevin, as a sidebar, is there anything you can do so you can stand out, you know, among other lawyers?
Yeah, you know, I've been working on that.
It's a little distracting up here.
Yeah, you know, I've been working on that all these years. You know, the truth is, people, when you go to the courts, there maybe 20 lawyers and they're in business blue and white shirts and neckties.
And gray.
And, yeah, and
right.
I said, well, you know, how do you ever separate yourself through the pie? But touche and thank you. But this really is just Christmas evening. I did this.
I
Didn't
would
know
like
I
to
was gonna
see
have
you
a-
wear that in court.
Yeah. Yes.
It looks nice and very festive, and I always enjoy waiting to see what you're going to display for the Nashville community.
Okay.
I want to, first of all, get back to that lady who called with on the edge about her rent and everything like that.
Yeah.
She can call the Metro Action Committee. They have this HOPE situation that they've set up since COVID. And basically all she needs to do is call 615-862, which is all the prefix for all Metro offices, 862-RENT. 862-RENT or 862-73, believe that is 68, but rent, whatever that number comes to, and that hopefully they can either help her or direct her exactly where she needs to go to get help. So
That's great news. That's why we love having the phone, because so many people can help each other through this, and we love it when someone helps someone in need, and that's really the purpose of this show. And thank you for community leaders that's willing to get in and say, well, hey, it's not really that big a deal, but in that person's life, it really is a big deal. I salute you, my friend, and thank you for the call.
Well, thank you. And my main legal question is, when does the grand jury rotate how is the grand jury picked from just regular voters, registered voters? And does the defense get a chance to prove that their defendant is not worthy of being indicted on grand jury charges? And I hope you guys have a Merry Christmas and look forward to seeing you guys next year.
Yes,
too.
Merry Christmas. Pretty slick. That guy knows what's going on. You know, the grand jury meets every month. The district attorney presents cases. So if you go and get arrested in general sessions, we waive the preliminary hearing or we have a preliminary hearing. Now, the judge, what he has to find, probable cause, not guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. Was it a probable cause established that a crime was committed and a probable cause that this defendant did that? Then it's waived to the grand jury. So he's wanting to know, when does it meet? It meets every month. And is it foreseeable or plausible that a defense attorney could present evidence at a grand jury? Yes, it is, and they do that. As a general rule, they do not do it. And it's dangerous because if you put your client on the stand in the grand jury, they can ask them anything. So once you put that evidence out there, that is a very dangerous game to play. And so as a general rule, we do not say it. But there are some techniques. Touche, my friend, again. A skilled lawyer knows how to use that to their advantage. And so under the right circumstances, if it were Amy Chard and I was representing her, I said, wait a minute, she's pretty articulate, she's pretty skilled. Amy, we would go over it and you might be the perfect person
to go in front of the grand jury.
To go in front of the grand jury. Pristine criminal history, pristine leader in the community. What are they going to say to her that we couldn't be prepared for? So thank you. That's a little secret weapon most people don't know about.
Yeah, I served on a grand jury right before I went to law school, and I was an alternate, so it was 5 days, 40 cases a day, Davidson County, and I think we had all true bills the entire time.
Man, y'all were tough.
Yeah, but it was only a prosecutor in there and one police officer who's designated from the Metro Police Department to kind of present all of the cases, and so you just heard the one side.
Let me also dance one more little dance. You know, that if you get a no true bill, that doesn't mean the case is over with forever, because the district attorney has the right to bring it again, and he can bring it again till he gets a true bill. Also, if you didn't know this, if the detective says there's not enough evidence, I refuse to prosecute this case, then you have the right to say, I want to go to the grand jury and I'll present it on my own. A lot of people don't know that, but there you have it. That's why you always listen to this TV show.
Yeah, good advice there. And we've got more callers on the line. We'll get to all of you in just a few minutes. Keep calling that number, 615-737-PLUS. We'll be right back.